I don't like ever look at the country really, like who I'm surfing against, like where they're from. I mean, it sucks when one of us ends up in the same heat, but that's how it goes. Like, I mean, those guys end up in the same heat from Brazil, and so no, I don't really look at that. But it doesn't really happen too often because there's not too many of us.
Yeah. I feel.
But you
like
guys just said you had 100 heats together
no,
this year.
we didn't have that many, but he kicked me off tour pretty much. But I feel like when you go into a heat, you obviously look at like, oh, what's this guy do good? What can I do different than he does? I mean, I obviously look at that. I mean,
That's what it was. He took all his anger out on me in Portugal that he had towards you.
He got me right after.
I don't necessarily know that I hate both of these guys.
So I gotta take Slater out so that I can get
I mean, how many people here do better when they're pissed off? I for sure do better. I know Brett does better when he's pissed off.
You do.
Yeah.
Azores.
So, but the thing is like you gotta find ways that like where you have that, you know, you're sort of a chip on.
Way, that wasn't a 10.
You gotta find ways to have a chip on your shoulder. Why in business and relationships when you get mad you always do dumb stuff?
Yeah.
And then when you're in
end up
sport,
locked up.
when you're in sport, when you're in sport and you get mad and you do things good.
Yeah, I think it's just fire.
I think there's some
Intensity.
kind of
Intensity
connection there, like between like, keep talking about these sort of negative things in sport, you know, and them driving you. So it makes me kind of wonder. It's like, is competition good for you spiritually? You know?
Oh, I think it's terrible, but it's great. Like, I'm about to jump off. It's terrible, but it's freaking bridge right now. About to do the head first dive off Haleiwa, low tide.
Well, I think it's great in a season in your life because as a kid, you were all naturally the most selfish people you can be. So obviously, that's the way it should be, you know. But I think once you get older and you're on the next chapter, then yeah, you don't want to be that same sort of kid. It's gonna be negative. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing in the part of your life where you're trying to achieve your goals. It's a great thing.
It's the most challenging part for sure.
I think it is challenging to sort of grow as a person and compete heavily. I think it's a difficult task to achieve.
Do you guys think that might be why there's a lot of, you know, younger and younger people qualifying for the World Tour? You know, like the Gabriels or even like Kanoa is 18, did you say, Brett?
Yeah, I think he's 18.
Yeah, Felipe was 18.
18.
17, 18, yeah.
It's
It's also crazy to look back and think that Nicky Wood won Rip Curl, the Rip Curl Pro at Bell's when he was 16. It's pretty radical.
Wait, what was the question?
Well, just we were
Tyler,
talking
right?
about, you know,
When
as you
he's
mature and grow
14.
as a person, it becomes a little bit harder to be super selfish and cutthroat and everything because you're expanding your personality and your character.
I think I felt like when I was younger, I was dumber to that. When you have that confidence, you don't think about anybody around you as much. Like you're selfish.
Yeah.
You know, and you kind of need some of that, and you lose that. I felt like I've lost a little bit of that somewhat.
Then you get married and have
You
kids.
get married and you start like, dude, these donuts are good. My crew's always getting barrel now. I'm just gonna hang out.
You got a beer?
I'll take a beer.
That like when people get married and you look at other sports, like guys have kids and are married, and that doesn't seem to like change things for them. Like
They do when they're
Tom
like
Brady or
21,
guys
they
like
have
that.
like 4 kids and like 3 wives.
Yeah, they're done. You know, their life's like that.
Philip
from the
Rivers
start.
has like 9 children or something crazy.
No, I agree, but I think theirs is so set up for them. Like, if I had to tell you, you got to drive to this locker room, you show up, you need it. Like, I feel like the life
For these 3 months.
Yeah. I'm going to show up to
5
the
months
locker
or
room. I'm
whatever.
not going to mess up. I'm going to get a hot and cold bath. I'm going to feel great. Might get injured. Who knows? But, like, our life's a lot different than a normal American athlete.
Yeah, you're on call 24/7 all year,
Like-
in that way.
I mean, I agree. Like, there is guys that a lot of people succeed. I'm not saying that's the end all, dude. They're done. I'm having the best time of my
saying when
life.
you get older and like things
No,
change,
but
you
that's it.
lose competitiveness.
No,
and-
I think the competitiveness
should be a
is
distraction,
still
though.
there.
being married and having kids, that should be a
It's-
distraction.
yeah.
It should be where your energy and focus is going.
Yeah,
I think.
but it also
I mean,
could
it's-
drive you, couldn't it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
could
does
too,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But just when you're not sleeping that much, like, we'll see. Yeah, when you get all this-
I mean, as a fan, and I'll always be a fan of surfing, obviously, and I'm gonna be sitting at home watching. I think it's great. I'm stoked that America, as far as it relates to surfing, you know, we are a minority, and for as far as I'm concerned, so is Australia. I mean, we'll see what happens this week, obviously, but you know, if a Felipe or a Brazilian was to win again, then you know, then of course I would think America and Australia is a minority on tour, and that's rad. Because you're going to start rooting for the underdog. There's going to be less of them, and you're going to be all those things that we talk about. It's going to breed, you know, patriotism and all those things, and it's going to be rad.
What kind of reaction do you guys have to, you know, the fan bases that say, like at a Lower Trestles event, when Felipe wins, there's just tons of Brazilians there waving the flag to support him. They're very vocal. They're very loud. Do you guys think that's a good? I mean, it's a good thing because they're down there cheering for him. Or do you guys feel like you get the same support from your fan base
No.
at events?
Imagine if they did what they did at Lowers or Huntington. Imagine if we did that in Rio. Like
We'd all be neck, no.
yeah, they'd probably have like yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know if it's true.
I disagree.
I think they're good for a bit. They they. I mean, Rio seems pretty chaotic. Like, I don't even know if you can find a piece of room down there to get your flag up.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
just dangerous. You know?
Yeah. But does it inspire you guys to see that kind
Yeah.
of support for
It's
each of those
pretty-
athletes?
I think it's rad.
Kind of scares me.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
yeah, you're.
That stuff in
Can't
Brazil
even
this
get
year is
room,
crazy.
dude.
Yeah, I'm not talking about there, but I'm thinking more Trestles and
Trestles,
Huntington.
yeah.
I
like-
mean, at the moment, I was pretty pissed off. I was kind of angered.
Huntington scares
Because they
me
were
when that place
booing,
goes
they
out
were
of
kind of
control.
booing the one rider that wasn't, and it's like, this isn't your home. Like,
Yeah, I heard
I mean,
a few
maybe they live
boos
there,
for
but
good
there's a
scores
lot of
against
people
their guy against their
yeah,
guys
I
from
don't
someone
like
else.
that. Like, cheer for your guy all you want, but kind of booing.
I don't know. I think that's
Yeah,
rad.
I
mean,
came. Look, I
That
came in.
happen- that
I came in
happens
from
all
a heat.
sports.
Yeah,
You go
let's
to a
flip the
basketball
script
game,
here,
dude,
yeah.
You got guys click, click, click. You're freaking clanking.
I don't know. I would hope that the people that are like, they're supporting me like vocally aren't against other people
Yeah,
vocally. Because like
disrespectful.
I came out of a heat at Margaret's, and this Brazilian guy came up and got in my face and started laughing at me because I lost Adriano. And like in the heat of the moment, I want to punch a guy in the face. I was like, get over here, like right now, you know.
I think
and
he
was
probably
like,
wanted you too.
yeah, he probably did want me too. But that was it. He was trying to egg me on. I'm like,
yeah.
why egg me on when I already lost and I'm obviously upset? You know, like I just went over the falls, broke my favorite board, got my ass handed to me out there by the ocean, and lost the heat. And you know, but people are there having enjoying
like
it for
that.
they do. They're there
where they get
enjoying
their
it.
high off.
They're there enjoying
You
it
know?
for what
like
they're
me and
enjoying it
Boogie
for, you know.
Cousins.
And I can't be in that guy's shoes, and he can't be in my shoes. It's hard to have that perspective. But now I look back and go, it's pretty funny.
Well,
but
and
at
that's
the time
kind
I
of
was
similar
so
to
pissed.
like an NFL game where there's a fan for one team and a fan from another, and they almost get in a fight because of what's happening on the field. You know,
Yeah.
it's like people are very passionate about their just
And that's where the
enthusiasm.
athlete has to know how to draw the line of like, okay, I'm the one competing.
Yeah, but surfing's like weird because you're like
They're right there.
You're like surfing with the guy.
Yeah.
Like it's not like there's like security and like
Yeah.
a bunch of.
Yeah, in times you can be
Space.
free surfing and you got all these people out there that, I mean, it's different.
I'm baffled by fans at like football games and soccer games and stuff. I don't get it.
wild.
Like, it's cool. I like watching a good game and all, but like, but it's bizarre to
Tell
me
me
that
if
people.
you lived in Buffalo,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be a
try and-
Buffalo Bills fan.
I
You
might-
wouldn't be afraid.
I might be a fan, but I don't think I'd be at the games like crying and wanting to
That's
fight
your
people.
life,
and,
dude. That's
you
all
know.
you got.
Yeah, but that's our
house on
only
every game.
escape from 9 to 5,
Yeah.
from the
I guess.
family, from
Like,
whatever.
I saw this picture on Instagram, and it was a picture of all these fans, like 70,000 fans all screaming or whatever, and it said, "Imagine if people did this over things that actually matter."
Yeah,
And
true.
you know, people get that
Well,
passionate
both.
about things that don't matter. Like it's just fun. It's just entertainment.
But
So
I think
entertainment's
what's
where some
happened?
people.
There's billions of dollars in it.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's
I think
entertainment.
there's-
I think
entertainment.
people get so fired up about sports because it's like they're representing like a place and where people either are from or live or something like that. Like
Florida.
I like all the teams up there because they're representing Northern California, and maybe in Brazil, like all these guys, it's the same way. Like they're representing Brazil. Like it's more than just like Felipe. It's like all of Brazil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I just don't identify that way myself so much because
Well, there's no fans in America that.
Well, no, because I've lived all around the world, so like I'm more of like just because you're from a place doesn't make that place any better or any worse.
But you have pride in the place, like.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look,
I think America's the best. Whether or not it is, I'm gonna say.
No, I know, but I mean, maybe not. Maybe I said that wrong, but maybe it's like it doesn't make the people better or those guys. Those athletes on the teams, they aren't even from there, dude. They're not even from your area.
No, yeah.
So
So
it's
I'm
like
just saying, like.
No, that's true.
I mean, if someone
Very
was from Cocoa Beach that you didn't even know, I'm sure you'd like.
Oh yeah, when I saw Adam Taylor skate the Meg Ramp, I was pretty psyched.
Yeah, and you probably didn't even know.
Super psyched. But yeah.
AT.
So you got me there. Yeah, I was definitely like amped when I saw that.
Yeah, so I just think like.
Yeah,
it could be-
it's entertainment. It's escape from their lives, and that's what it is,
I think it's pretty rude when people clap when someone falls, though.
I think it's great. I think it's all like whatever.
I used to think it was.
If you're
whatever.
if you're enjoying it,
mean,
good,
it's-
bad, or indifferent, like
Yeah. You want your
No,
guy to win.
I disagree
You want
with you
your
on
guy to
that. I don't think it's great when people like screw up or whatever, and people laugh or clap or boo them or whatever. I don't get that. Like support your person and be on like. I like the more positive side of it. When people are like booing
We can all
if
be
somebody gets a
positive.
score that other people didn't want them to get, or like harassing you, like I don't know, a little bit of harassment does pretty good, like especially in a basketball game.
like
I was
that's
talking
part
about
of.
surfing. I just think surfing is like a little bit different than
Yeah.
other sports.
I don't know,
it
but
is.
then I mean, dude, you can talk about hockey. Like you go on and on and on. It's entertainment.
Well,
Are
it's
they
just
are
like
they
you can
watching?
fight.
Are they watching you?
We should be able to
Are
fight.
they
Come
using
in,
their
roll
hard-earned
Rashi
money
over, just-
to?
Yeah, if you're still on your feet and keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of disagree with that because I mean, if they're a fan and they're entertained and for whatever reason they buy a shirt that you're sponsored by, then that's awesome. They can boo, yell, scream, whatever.
Yeah.
I think
Badger
surfing,
you,
though, I think your
badger
point,
you
though,
on
is like
social media. Like, what? I mean, just think of the stuff that people say on social media. Like, is that any different if I was in the fans going, "You effing stink"? I mean, is that any different when I'm out in the water yelling at you, Brett?
I mean,
Or
it's
in a
gonna be
heat?
this. It's
no,
all
but
the
I
same.
think
Like,
his
I've been-
point is, I think Chloe's point was that surfing is different. That like I understand that at basketball games, I understand that at football games and that kind of stuff in that sense. But like surfing is more of like a
It's individual, so you don't have to.
Individual
you don't have
or
your
tight
team around you.
community,
to
yeah.
I
kinda
think it's
get
more
you
like
back on your feet.
soulful, like I
Yeah.
don't know, like I don't know. It's not just like
It's
Well, I
weird.
think
It's weird to
that's
just turn it into a sport with that aggression and like that mentality.
Well, they have that, and that's why they're doing good.
But I
maybe.
think
because
there's
look who's taken over,
Yeah.
and that's the way they play the game.
Yeah, and I
That's the
think
way
there's
they play
rules of
every game.
engagement for every different sport. Like the rules that we have that, and I'm not talking about written rules. I'm just talking about when we go surf or we can, it's different than like. I just think of those hockey games. Like these guys are just.
Tell me, you're not gonna
nailed
go
it.
to a flag football game. You won't be showing up to one of those anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, everyone's evolving. We need to continue to evolve the judges and evolve all these aspects of our sports. And I mean, that's part of the entertainment,
Who
right?
wants to go sit down in meetings and forums with those guys and spend hours and hours in between contests? Who has the time for that?
that's where
and
it's
who's
gone
gonna?
to.
Because if you're going to really start to break down errors and turns and, utilizing the right flow of the wave and all those kind of things, like those are, people say to me all the time, they're like, oh, the fucking judges. I'm like, what about them? And they go, well, they don't surf as good as you guys, so how can they judge you? I go, you got a problem there. How are you gonna get all the best guys to judge the best guys?
Yeah, there's
like,
no way.
no one's been ever as good as the best guys in the world are right now. So how are you going to find someone as good as them to judge them? It's kind of a stupid
They
argument.
wouldn't be judging if they.
No, exactly. You're not judging if you're as good as those guys. But maybe there's a way to have like some kind of forums once in a while, a couple times a year, where you spend a whole day talking about where the level's at, what the progression is, what's good and bad, and everyone has to eat a little humble pie too. Break down your own surfing, what you did good and what you did bad in front of everyone, I mean, if you really want to like get critical about the judges, it's real easy to be sitting
I'm not being
on
critical
the
about the judges. I'm just talking
I'm not
about
saying
like
you
we went from 3 waves to 2 waves. You know,
Yeah.
I mean we have done things, but I mean
Yeah.
something about continuing.
Yeah,
to
no,
do
I'm
it.
not saying you are, but there's such a critique about the judging, and it's so easy to be that guy
I think they do a pretty good job.
online talking shit about the judging.
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever.
they're
always
passionate.
get it
They want
right.
something to be passionate about.
Like
I
I had someone say to me recently, they get it right like 5% of the time. And I'm like, really? So only 5% of the time the right guy wins? No, that's bullshit.
95.
No, they didn't. They actually bet it the other way around. And I thought, no, you know, now and then you have a heat that is super close, and depending on who you like, what country they're from, if they're regular goofy foot, if they're loud or quiet, if you like their image, all these things, those all weigh into your biasness about what that guy's score was. If you like or don't like the guy, if you have him on your fantasy team, all these kind of things.
Yeah,
So
that
you're
stuff's
watching
out
from
of
a different
control.
filter. And, you know, and
many times do you
look,
get
once in
a
a
guy
while, the
on the
judges,
team?
I think every contest, probably 1 or 2 heats, the judges get it clearly wrong.
Yeah.
1 or 2 heats per contest. But that can affect a lot of stuff at the end of the year, especially in an early round.
Just let time sort itself out, and we'll be back on top.
Kai?
I don't think enough young Americans dedicate their whole entire life into being successful on the world tour, or like in like surfing.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's
Distraction?
I think it's easier to live in California or in America than Brazil. Like Brazil, they have that's like their whole life to succeed. So that's why.
Do you have
Good answer.
You have more comforts.
Yeah, like you could be like a.
What's the difference with Australia then?
Internet.
Oh, yeah. Terrible internet there.
You don't not want to be there.
What is with Australian internet, man?
All right, your turn.
Kelly?
My turn? Feeder system.
The feeder. It's broke.
No, I think I think you have to have that healthy competition, but I think to CJ's point, it's like just time. You know, there's an ebb and flow. You know, the Brazilian. Everyone talks about the Brazilian storm. It's nothing new. I mean, they've had a lot of good surfers for a long time. They were always a force, even when I was an amateur in the world titles. You know. Flavio Potteratz or Fabio, one of them won in Puerto Rico, the other made the final, I think. There's been a lot of great Brazilian surfers over the years, so it's nothing new. It's new that they're at the top now. It's new that they're going for world titles. That's a fresh thing, but they have the desire. It's a cultural thing, and it's a personal thing for each person. You know, I know that I surf against these guys. They all want to win. I want to win, so. You know, there's no coincidence we got to the places we have because we want to win competitively. But you know, right now I don't know why. I think we have a number of really good young surfers that I'm sort of surprised haven't made it on tour yet. So I'd like to see that happen.
I would kind of go against, like, I feel more just the format could be fitted amateur-wise a little bit better to kind of help the kids as they get towards that back half towards wanting to get on tour, and then maybe just, I mean, I'm more about the competitive side, you know, like get these kids prepared for what they're gonna deal with. You
Camp
know?
Hobgood.
Dude,
No, I understand.
our shapers
But
need to
I'm not
stop
like-
shaping for the rest of the world.
That's true. Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say. Mayhem, Channel Island,
Yeah.
Firewire.
There you
Can't be
go.
shaping for these other
That'd be
guys.
pretty sick. But yeah, I feel like
Sharp Eye,
they gotta be
Sharp Eye's in
prepared.
California.
You
He
know,
can't
I
shape
think
for anybody.
kids
Is he
obviously,
Yeah, he is.
like I said, you win. Like if you're doing
Your
well,
shapes
you
in
win a lot, and then you come into this bigger picture where you're competing against a lot better people. You know, and I also think they need. I know there's a lot of contests, but maybe as they get older, just a few more opportunities in their area. You know, whether it's QS events that. You know, they can climb the ranks, you know? I feel like we got some kids that are coming up, you know, Griffin, Kanoa's made it. I feel like there's a few kids in that area, and then there's younger kids and I feel like they're pretty hungry. You know, they're around a lot of the good guys a lot, and they're excited.
Mm-hmm. Ned?
I don't know. I feel like in Brazil, it's like that's like the only option is to like qualify for the tour and do well. Like that's like their only like that's it. Like in like Gabriel's like all those guys like in the magazines and stuff. They're like the heroes, you know, and that's just their one. Like that's what everyone wants to do. They want to qualify and probably be that guy. But like in America, there's all kinds of different paths you can take.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's probably more like they all just know exactly what they want to do, like, and that's it.
Gives them barriers. Gives them like
It's
a
like
clear.
like this is exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
And then
And
I
I
don't
think
know,
with
like
Australia, they have those pro juniors and
I
the
think
board riders things.
In America, you can do what you want, have a lot of fun, and make a good living. Doing not necessarily like competing, and if you're not competitive, like you can still do that. So it's like it's two different like I don't know. That's just what I see.
I think that is slowly starting to kind of slide away. I feel like years ago, regional guys were making a lot of money. You could have a couple guys from Huntington, a couple guys here, and some would do the QS, some didn't, but they were all making decent money doing what they're doing, going to Natividad or doing these little trips. But it's like now it's
I'm going to Nicaragua. He meant.
and now it's a little more. I think in America it's getting more pushed to like the tours, kind of the it thing.
Yeah.
Man, that's what you were saying. Like, the sponsors want that, and then so the more that those people want that, then it'll give, like Matt's saying, a clear.
Well, I think
path.
it's because the level is what it is now with you guys on the World Tour, and the exposure that the new, whatever you want to call it, WSL, and the way that they're exposing it, getting it out to the world, the audience.
Yeah, so the
so
trend you would think would continue.
I wish kids would stay in school, but it ain't gonna happen. So, up your...
I just keep thinking there's a bunch of geckos looking down on this little buffet right here.
Brothers kill a posse.
Dude, there's some gecko over there. It's like right when those guys leave.
We should put like a half dome over that so the geckos can't go anywhere. Just put them in there.
They're just looking at it.
They can't escape.
They're tucked in the wall.
Dude, this is what geckos are here in the touch.